my wood cutouts on here and they won't move on me, and I can paint them without things moving. So I kind of thought about that one day. I'm like, I should use our mats. So I bought extra mats because I don't want to use these for inking and then get my get things dirty on the inside of, say, t-shirts or whatever I'm inking. So we'll use this separately from that. All right, say hello if you guys are with me. So first things first, we're going to paint. Now this, we have our white board, right? This is our hanging piece, so it's white. So then our next piece on top is this color. This I want to make, I like this color, it's called Fawn. And it reminds me of jute, or whatever they call it, twine. It's kind of the same color. It's really, really close. So I like using this a lot. So we're just going to paint that up with this. Let's grab a foam brush. And we'll just paint this up. Okay, put that aside, and we're just going to paint it up. When I paint things, I kind of like to go from the center out, because usually if you try to start from the edge in, you will get your edges painted. Some people like their painted edges, and some people like to just keep it the way it is. Now, because the wood is cut with a laser, it does tend to burn the edges. Some people like to cover it, and some people like to just keep it as is. So we're going to do that. We're going to keep it as is. So we're going to try to paint this without going on our edges here. All right, now this piece, this is all we're doing. We're just painting it. We're doing nothing more to it. So let's get our quick dry tool here and give it a quick dry. Hi, Mom. How are ya? All right, so we're going to get this dry. We're not going to wax it. We're not going to chalk on it. You could chalk on this piece. You don't necessarily need the precise cutouts. You can actually take this transfer and chalk directly on that background piece. But we're just going to give it another layer. All right, I think it's good. Good, I'm glad you're good. All right, and I assume Dad's shoulders are doing good. All right, so this is what we have so far. This is our background, and then this is our next layer. Again, we can take this transfer and directly chalk on that. We are not going to do that. We're going to chalk on these pieces. So we need to color these pieces. And I thought I would go ahead and do those in white. So I have a very old jar of white paste. There's very, very little left. So I usually will squirt some water in there, which I did before. And I'll kind of get in here and rub those edges. It's a little wet in here. All right. And then we're just going to paint all these pieces white. You can use white paint. No problem at all. I've just been kind of digging out of that jar, trying to really finish it up. Okay. Okay, good. So I assume he got some injections then. Gotta love those injections. Okay. Let's smooth this out. Sometimes if you water your chalk paste down too much, it requires a second layer, but I think this should be okay. All right, let's get that heart. Okay, good. All right. Let's get some more on our brush here. Do our little rainbows. I like this, that this isn't your typical rainbow shape. I'm glad they kind of made it a little quirky. Okay, last one. Now I'm using our ink mats because they are sticky. You could use your Cricut mat, or you could use, you know, like a piece of cardboard and spray it with an adhesive. But I really like using our ink mats. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. Okay. All right, let's get everything dried up. Let's go ahead and put that sort of together here. Let's get everything dry. This is washable. As you can see, I have used it before and it's a little stained, but it's still very, very sticky. So we'll just get this dried up. Now when you're using our transfers, you do not have to use the wood cutouts. You can use this transfer directly on t-shirts or hats or shoes or jeans. People have done jean jackets. You can do your windows, your doors, your walls, your mirrors. But mostly we like to use it on wood backgrounds or chalkboards. Okay. Let's get these nice and dry. Feels good and dry, so we're just going to take that off. Place the pieces over here. Got a little heart. Okay, let's go ahead and at least pre-treat this with some water here. Okay, I'm going to grab a wipe. And I just use generic antibacterial wipes. We have used, like when we first started as a company, they said to use Lysol wipes, that would make your transfers become sticky again. So that's what I've been doing since day one. And they became a company in, I want to say, May of 2017. I joined in November of 17. So we've been at this for quite some time. So many changes we've gone through for the good. And the product just keeps getting better and better. In my opinion, anyway. All right, so we're just going to wipe that again. And then we'll just let that dry, air dry, and that'll be nice and sticky again. Okay, let's put that aside. All right, let's bring our pieces over. So the next step I like to take when I'm working with wood cutouts is I like to wax them. I'm going to throw this out because that's been used quite a bit. I like to use the applicator sometimes to apply. There's no rhyme or reason why or when I do it. It's just if I'm in the mood. But I do like to use a paper towel as well. So we're just going to get some wax on the paper towel. I'm kind of holding my wood cutout down so it's on my mat here. Sometimes wood cutouts, if they're not a solid piece and you're really kind of working with them, they could crack. I mean, they are only, I want to say, 1/8 inch thick. So they're thin. They could be fragile, so just take care of them if you get them. And then let's get that heart. So what I did is I just applied it at first. Right, then I take my paper towel and I kind of, this is the waxy area, I kind of fold that inside itself. And then I'll go back to my pieces and we'll rub it a little bit. This kind of takes whatever excess we have, takes it back off and just buffs in any kind of wax we have left. Gives it a nice shine. It gives it a really silky, smooth feel to it. And I like that because that's what the paste will kind of sit on that. So we can just do that real quick. So again, just be careful, especially with these curved pieces. That piece. Just love that the rainbow slices are just not your typical, you know, half moon shape. Okay. All right, those are all buffed and ready to go. All right, now we start chalking. Let's get our transfer out. This little thing here says the copyright information on this transfer is mesh silk screen. Use caution, remove or cover with tape before use. So it's called our slug line or the copyright information, meaning it gives you the title of the transfer, the SKU number, and then what else does it say? It says Chalk Couture, that's the trademark. So that we have a new manufacturer of transfers. So this is all mesh. So you either want to chop that off or you want to cover it with transfer tape, especially if you're going to like, maybe not necessarily the cutout, but if I were to put it directly on here, I would want to cover that so that I don't transfer that onto my wood. Okay. All right, let's label this. The rainbow in the clouds, especially every day, every day. Okay, let's get that backer sheet separated, and then let's go ahead and just start. I'm actually going to start with the little slices here. Now our new transfers are more transparent as well, so it's really easy to line it up. Of course, you may have to turn it a little bit just to get it just right. Okay, we'll do that one. Okay, there's very little, there's like a 0.5 or so outline to it. Okay. So I'm going to do the heart red. I'm going to stick that guy in there too. We're going to do the heart red, and then we're going to do our outer rainbow slice red as well. So I'm going to do red, orange, yellow. We're just going to use the 3 colors of the rainbow today. Possibly black. Okay, let's open our red. And because this is kind of a thin, I'm going to use our multi-tool here to apply it. Okay. Okay, and then let's get our heart. Get it covered, and then apply some pressure and get that excess off. Put that back in the jar. I think we're done with red. Okay, let's get that out of there. So just gently pull it away. We'll put it up there to dry. Get our heart. How cute is that? All right, let's next go with our next slice here. That will be, we will use our orange peel with that. Again, very little edge to it here. So we need to be very careful, make sure it's flat down. And I think I have some more. That this seems to be working well. So let's go with orange peel here. Careful not to hit that red, especially if you didn't get all that excess off. There's like one spot over here. Come back and get that excess off here. Okay, back in the jar. Let's get that guy off. Let him dry. Oh my gosh, I love it so far. This has some extra wax on there. All right, it looks like I got some orange on my next little band there. So I'm going to try to clean that up before I proceed with our bumblebee, because I really want it to be bright yellow. I'm going to kind of just wipe it away here. Kind of just washing a little bit of that transfer. Our transfers are really easy to wash. They dry quickly, so you can keep chalking with very small amounts of interrupted time here. Okay, let's get the back side. I may not worry about cleaning the back side of that. I think we're okay for the moment here. Okay. Let's just kind of wave it in the air a little bit. Okay. Line this up. I haven't really had to use my light box today. Okay, again, press down as best you can. And then, just going to clean this tool I have. Simple as a wipe. You can run it under your kitchen sink water. They clean up very, very well. Let's get to our bumblebee. That's not bumblebee, that's Sunny. Sunny side, where's my bumblebee? Here's my bumblebee. Oh, the babies had us up at 5:30 this morning. Oof, that's rough. That's rough. Rough. Okay. I really try to avoid that B in the word rainbow so I don't get that dirty. So I am a tad tired tonight. Okay, back in the jar. Don't think we'll need red or orange or yellow anymore. Let's remove that. Thank you. Okay, so here's where I don't know what I want to do next. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of lay this down here. Okay, guys, do we do the words in black, or do we try to do it in the color that we painted the background, which looks a lot like camel? So I might use camel or black. What should we do? I think black would stand out. I also like the idea of using camel because I think that would work too. So what do you think? Because this is, let's get these dry here. Type in the comments, black or camel for the words. What do you think? Kathy says black. So this is how this is going to go. That one, that one, a heart, and then that next piece. So do we do it kind of like this color, or do we do it in black? Or do we do it in a color? Like, I don't want to do too much. I don't want to do any blending or hot mess or anything like that down here. I want it to be a solid color. I'm thinking maybe black. That was one of my thoughts. Let's see what black looks like. Okay, we're just going to grab a squeegee here. We're going to go with black. I think that'll really stand out. All right, so I'm just kind of going over the wood piece here. Pushing that chalk paste through the silkscreen mesh. And it will go right onto my little wood cutout. All right, so I'm making sure I got the edges done. Making sure I got every part of those words. Make sure edges are done. Okay, I think we're good. Excess always back in your jar. Turn our hot glue gun on. I thought I did that already. There we go. There's that. How about red? Red would have worked because we do have a lot of red working. Let's get this dry. Thanks, Kathy. Okay, now I'm going to put my glasses on because I do have a couple little sections here I'd like to fix up. It looks like our transfer may have slipped. I'm going to try to get some of that off. That is one good reason to have a waxed background so that we can get that. I'm going to try to get this edge of the S here real quick. You can sometimes use that little pick if you wrap your little wipe on there, and then you can wipe that off. Try to smear that off here. Sometimes I make things worse because I keep playing with it. But we're going to see how good we can do this here. The black keeps getting on there here. Okay, there's that. Let's take care of this edge a little bit if we can. I'm going to squeeze some of that water out of there. Worst case, we use our white chalk marker to repaint that part. I think for the most part, it's good. Okay. All right, let's get that dry. Our hot glue gun should be just about ready. We're just going to top off the edges here because this is going to drive me crazy. There we go. Let that dry, and then we'll do one more layer on top. And it'll look like nothing ever happened. So many tools to make your chalking experience so easy and so successful. I should have showed you up close what it looked like. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so that's how that's going to look. Let's go ahead and take those off here. Get this glued up here. Don't have to cover every little inch, but make sure you do have some good coverage. Hold on to it. All right, and then press down. My glue, I think it's that, oh, well, I'm not sure what company it is. I'm trying to think if it's that the ape one or just a generic one. But I'll tell you what, when I glue wood to wood, it is instant. It just sticks like crazy. All right, so I'm going to play with this, make sure I know where this is going. Okay. Okay. Just do a small line of glue. You don't want it oozing out from the sides. There's one. Easy project, you guys. And just a gentle reminder, right? Especially to the youth of these days. I think you just need to be that somebody for someone, you know? Be that rainbow. Okay. And then last but not least, our little heart. Just a little dab will do ya. We're going to just stick him anywhere since he's kind of floating on his own. Perfect. And then we're going to bring over our, so let's see. So you see how this is the wood grain. We can have the wood grain going sideways, or we can have it going up and down. This one's not so prominent. I think we'll do it sideways. So now we just go ahead and add some glue to this side. Like I said, not much is necessary. Try to get this just right. Because like I said, once this hits the wood, it dries. How cute is that? Now, if you were using one of the stands, like we talked at the beginning, these are our simple shapes base. You're probably going to want to keep your, either if you're doing cutouts or just chalking straight onto your simple shape, you're going to want to keep the design up more so that you don't lose it in your channel here. Okay. So you just have to think about that. Then, of course, you can use your power punch. You can punch holes in the corner. I was going to, let's see, let's get cleaned up here. I think I was just going to hot glue these on the back side. I didn't want to put a hole in it. Always chalking on myself here. I didn't want to put holes in it because I don't like tying knots with my string. Prefer to hide it. Okay, get this closed up. Get that chalk off me. So that's what I was thinking. I was going to kind of do it from behind. And I do even number of beads because if I have a hook, I like to have it go in between the two beads instead of having an odd number. Then it's kind of difficult to hang in my experience. Or what we could do is if we do the holes, then you would have to somehow feed the end of that back up into a bead. Let's try that. Let's try that. See how good we can do here. All right, I'm going to slide my power punch here. I like to line up this end of the power punch with the end of my, it's got a little piece in there, with my board. And then I can see exactly where it's going to punch. Okay, same thing. Let's do this side. If you guys need these products today, they are listed in the description of the video. Okay. All right. So now we have our two holes. I'm going to put transfer tape or placement tape on the end of this one. It'll just help us get it fed up into one of those beads. So we're going to just really tightly wind that around. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come in here. Let's do the other side. And we kind of want it even on both sides. So I have like 2-3 inches on each side. I am going to feed it up through that first bead, I think. Okay, let's try this one. Feed it up through that first bead. Pull it tight. Okay, I'm not confident that that will hold it the full time it's ever hanging, so I want to make sure that this is going to be nice and tight, and I'm going to make a knot around that bead if I can. I may have needed a bigger string, maybe not. Okay. We got one knot there. Let's try it on this side. Just putting in one knot. I don't know that I have enough to do 2 knots. All right, so pull that nice and tight. And then what I think I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go through that second bead. Pull that through. Maybe. Okay, there's we go. And then that knot kind of popped up into that second bead. So we're hiding that knot. So the same thing over here. Pull it through, pop that up. Get your trimmers here. Just trim that there. Trim that there. And now you can't even see how we did that. Isn't that amazing how we hid that? You have no excess strings hanging out. That way too, if I wanted to put something on this side, I still can. It's white, so it's very neutral. But there's our project today, you guys. Be a rainbow in the clouds. Again, this was our Try Me kit with the Chalk Suede journals last month. So if you got that, you have the transfer already. They are reusable. They're washable. So easy to take care of. Let's go ahead and get this washed. I'll show you how I wash it. Clean up our mess a little bit here. Tools can go right into the water. No big deal. Let's go ahead and get this soaking. So when you chalk, your chalk dries hard. So it does dry on your transfers, and you want to make sure you get it nice and clean so that you can use it again and again because they are reusable. So I get it nice and wet, and I'm going to let it sit. Oh, good. Thank you. I do too. We're just going to grab some wipes. We're going to let that sit a second or two. Let it reactivate that dry paste so it gets wet again. And I crumple up. You could do a paper towel, you can do a wipe. But I just kind of go over the surface. Try to get off whatever's left on top. Okay. It can be messy. I'm using our work mat because our transfers don't stick to it and it cleans up really nice. All right, so then let's give it another go over here. Oh, got things moving. Okay, we'll pick this up. We're gonna flip it over now and we're gonna wash the back side. And you can see that it's still pretty stained. So we're gonna get that wet. Then I'm gonna grab my miracle tool. which has all kinds of dirty stuff on it. Excuse me. Just going to get that yellow off. And we're going to rub it on this side. And you'll see it takes a big part of that leftover paste out of your screen. That's what you want. That is the goal. You want to get your screen nice and clean. Now, it doesn't matter if your transfer is stained. Okay, it will still work the same, but you want to make sure that your screen is free of like dried up chalk paste or dried up ink if you like to ink with your transfers. All right. Now we can come on the top here and get a lot of that staining gone. This is our miracle tool. You must have the board erasers. What a difference. Gets it so clean for you. Okay. And that could just be rinsed in the sink. Those stain too, but it still works. It does not change the way they work. Okay. Final wipe down. Let's grab a towel, paper towel that is. All right, we're gonna go over that and take off whatever excess water is sitting on top. Okay. Remove it. Now, if you're doing this at home and you're doing it in your kitchen sink or bathroom sink or wherever, you could just use your hands. You can use your board eraser to get everything nice and clean. I just use my work mat because I am here with you guys. And now we are nice and clean. A little bit stained, but nice and clean. We're going to put it back on our backer sheet. Also wanted to show you that it is back to its original stickiness, so be careful it doesn't fold up on one another. Place it back on the right side of your transfer or your backer sheet. See, we wrote on that side, so we know not to put it back on that side. So the only other side is this side. This is a good chance to take a look too. If you have any dried up chalk paste, you won't be able to see the white backer. So this is a good indication that this guy is nice and clean and all set to go for our next project. Again, there's our finished. And I would just like to say thank you for showing up tonight. I truly appreciate you being here. Hope to see you guys again soon. And remember,